been experimenting with different ways to take these boards off the one side. Since the boards are missing from the other side, there's no way to pry these boards off. There's nothing to pry against. And in the process of me trying different ways to get these boards off, because I still want to use the jack method, but what I've found that I want to do is use the pallet, another pallet, like say that one right there, and it has 5 boards on one side and then of course 6 on another. And what I will do is set it below this pallet right here and proceed to clamp it down and make a base to pull these other boards off with. Now this is not going to be as easy as getting the one side off. Using the jack, it was really easy. This is going to be probably less strenuous than having to pry them off with a pry bar or what have you. Still, it's going to involve a little work. So let me set this up the way I'm going to do it so you can see how I do it. And if you come up with some better ideas, of course, to make it easier, that would be great. So let me go ahead and set this up and I'll be back. Okay, what I've done is I've positioned the other pallet long ways underneath the original pallet that I'm taking the boards off of. As you can see, they're longer one way than they are the other, and so consequently the pallet I'm working on hangs over the edge. Now what I've done is I've attached 2 5-inch C-clamps to the pallet that I'm working on. Here you can see how I've clamped it. Ideally, now these are 5-inch clamps, ideally it would be to get 8-inch clamps to go underneath here or here and then up to here, and maybe 4 of them so you could clamp the board in other places as well. But for now, this is what I have and this is what I'm going to work with and see how far we can go with pulling the rest of these boards off. So let me get the camera set back up and we'll see how it goes. I'll position the jack in here, and the jack will actually, I believe, since it has a roller in the front like there, since the jack has a roller in the front, it will ride on these boards. Now if you turn it over and then use the boards, this is 6 boards on the top of this pallet. If you turn it over, there's 5 boards and it's a little wider. But what you can do is take one of the boards that you had taken off, remove the nails, and use it as a track in between the 2x4s that run this way or this way. Just set it right in here. On the other side, this gap is wider and will accept one of these pallet boards this size. Okay, let me set the camera up and see how we do. You can see how the jack just fits underneath there with a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch to spare. What I'm planning on doing is pulling these 3 boards at that end, getting them loose, then hopscotching to the middle, resetting my clamps and going to the middle, then resetting again to the 3rd board, then sliding the pallet completely over and getting the last board ends. So let's see how this works out. Okay, I repositioned one of the clamps. We'll see if this does any better. Okay, I removed the clamp. That was a successful outcome there for getting the inboard loose, considering it was a split 2x4. Okay, I've repositioned the clamps, and I've also repositioned the jack. And let's see if this works. These are already loosened a little bit from the first try on this end. Here, it automatically loosens these up a little bit. Okay, I'm running up against the same thing. There's two. And I think what I want to do is reposition everything for the final pull. Okay, as you can see, I've slid the pallet over to the right a little bit that I'm working on, and I repositioned my clamps. One of the end pieces on one of the clamps has fallen off, which allows it to dig into the wood. And not good. Let me get a better angle on this. Like I said, this is a experiment in progress. So far, it seems to be working okay. I imagine once you get a system or some sort of a rhythm to this, it will probably go a lot easier. But what you're watching now is me experimenting on how to do it. So, like I said, you might come up with a better idea, or a better clamp for that matter. Clamping method. Okay, let's see what we get here. Having to step on this board with my foot. It wanted to come up. I didn't have another clamp. Actually, I do have one more clamp, or two more. They're 6 inches though. This is right in a knot. This is not good. Yeah, I knew that. Let me try over to the side a little bit. Well, saved it. Hard to believe, but it did. Okay, let's try this one. Come on. You can do it. There you go. I think. What did you do? I split another 2x4. Oh, I pulled the bottom board up. This is a reason to get deeper clamps like the 8 inches so you can hook to the 2x4s on the bottom. I'm going to have to redo that one, obviously. Okay, I've clamped the middle 2x4 back down with another clamp. This was a 6-inch clamp, but another 5-inch would do the same thing. I'm going to see if I can't pull that board that didn't want to come up. Okay, got her. Now, I think what I want to do is move a clamp. I believe when you get to this point, you can get out your Wonder Bar, Super Bar, Pry Bar, Crowbar. Okay guys, guess what? It might have seemed like the long way around using the clamps and all, but you know what? There's no sitting here and prying and pushing with your feet and all this other stuff. You let the jack do the work, the clamps do the work. If you get to the point where this wants to work, you know, you might reach it halfway in between. These all be loose. Pry them up. Why wait around for the jack to do the work? It's just as easy sometimes to get the pry bar out, Wonder Bar, Super Bar, Crowbar, or what have you. A nice long crowbar, about 3 feet, 2 feet. You won't even have to bend as much. So, now down the road, I'm going to take another one of these apart, pretty much the same way I just did this one. So until then, this is Steve AZ711 saying, I hope all your pallets come apart easily. Remember, Harbor Freight jack, low profile. This is the aluminum one, weighs 35 pounds. Even the wife can handle this very easily. The front side is very easy. It gets a little difficult on the back side, but if you're not in a big hurry, it'll save a lot of prying and pulling with some other tool, or cutting with a saw and going through some metal blades and what have you. Just get you a jack. You can use it for a lot of things. I would suggest probably a couple 8-inch clamps from Harbor Freight. I was using 5 and a 6. But, you know, experiment, see what you come up with, let me know. Until then, this is Steve AZ711 saying thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and bye for now. Oh, by the way, I'm going to see if I can have my wife do the next one. I'll talk to her and see what she thinks about it.